So, hello and welcome to my Mogul Chix page. I know you guys are not used to me broadcasting on Mogul Chix. Oops, excuse me. I'm usually on my page, my personal page. But this weekend, I got something that I've been following for years. Excuse me, guys. I got the Inc. 5,000 list. So my magazine came in this weekend and I was reading through it and something caught my eye. So, in the pages of the magazine, they give you statistics for all of the founders and the companies and all that good stuff and everything. And before I get started, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Adrienne Graham, CEO and proud founder of Mogul Chix, the federally registered Mogul Chix, and also Graham Talent Group. So over the weeks and months, I've been talking a lot about building your team and staffing and hiring and sourcing people and finding the right talent and hiring your support team versus your money-making team and all this good stuff. So something stopped me dead in my tracks. So the founder of SurePack, that's how it's pronounced, said, the thought that 80 families depend on my leadership for their income keeps me up at night. And then a statistic went on to say 33% of the Inc. 500, not the 5,000, but 33% of the Inc. 500 worry about being responsible for their employees' livelihood. I kid you not, it's right there. That's what he said about leadership, and then the 33% is over here. Anyway, so it made me think about some things. I'm always talking to you guys about hiring and doing it smart and all that good stuff. And it made me think, reading that made me think back to the first time I ever hired. Okay, so I'm going to share this with you. For a lot of years, I refused to hire full-time employees. I had a lot of independent contractors. And the reason I did that is because I was fearful. I didn't want to be responsible for hiring a team, because guess what? That means not only do you have to pay these people and you got to pay taxes and all that stuff, but every move you make, every decision you make, their livelihood depends on that. And that scared the hell out of me for a lot of years. It really did. So I said, you know what, that's right, I'll do it myself. But one day I started thinking about it and it was like, okay, I'm never, ever going to be where I want to be revenue-wise, financially, if I didn't expand beyond myself. And I'm guessing that a lot of you right this minute are feeling the same way. You want to expand, you got this hot streak going on and you have to hire, but something keeps keeping you from hiring, or you've been bitten, once or twice, and you're a little leery or trepidatious, about hiring. And that's fine, because we all go through that. So let me tell you about my first hiring experience. So I decided I needed to hire an assistant full-time, in addition to my first recruiter, because everybody else had been working, contract. So I jumped out on faith. I said, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to make this happen, but I'm going to make this happen. And I hired these people. So the recruiter that I hired, she was more of a sourcing recruiter, interviewing recruiter. She wasn't a business development recruiter. So she was just transactional, let's say that. Interviewing people, sourcing people, getting them scheduled, talking with the clients and that kind of stuff. Same thing my independent contractors did. And with my assistant, she didn't do any sales or marketing, anything. She did all of my managing my social media, my spreadsheets that I hate. Nicole Barham, I know you're gonna laugh at me for that, but I detest spreadsheets. But she did all of my back office stuff for me, which was cool. So little down the line, the economy got bad, had some issues, whatever, and I had to lay them off. That was a struggle for me, because it was like, oh shit, this is the one thing I did not want to do. This is the one thing that I feared would happen if I hired somebody, right? So I had to suck it up. I cried. They were good with it. I cried. Not in front of them, but I went in my office and I cried at the time. And I was doing things, in full disclosure, that I could have done better. I rented these offices that I really didn't need. I could have had them work remotely, but I was like, no, I want to go in the office. So that was money that was being blown every month, because I really didn't need an office. But, it made me look at myself as a failure as a leader. And I hate feeling that way, because it made me feel like I was ill-equipped to run a company. And I always tell you guys there's a difference between having a business and running a company. And to run a company, you have to be confident enough to hire a team, a kick-ass team that's going to make sure that they contribute to your bottom line. So what I didn't know then that I know now is that when you're starting to hire, the first thing you hire is your income or revenue producing talent. You've heard me say that many times before, and I'm not going to back away from that. So the person that does what you do, that can service more clients, the salesperson that can bring, or business development person that can bring in more money. You know, anybody that brings in money to the business is an asset. You know, support people can come later. You know, and I know I'm not going to get into the VA versus assistant thing because y'all know how I feel about that. But support team is secondary to your income, your revenue producing team, because they keep the money flowing in. Now, is there a situation where you can hire both at the same time? Absolutely, you can. You know, and I always tell people have a staffing plan. If you do a staffing plan, you understand what your needs are, you understand the timelines, you understand what the budget looks like. So if you're still not doing a staffing plan, I don't know what you're waiting for. You guys need to do staffing plans. Okay, we can help you with that. Anyway, I digress. So a lot of times we don't think in terms of revenue producing talent. I didn't. I just said, I need to hire, I need help. That's what I need to do. I was so unprepared. And this is embarrassing for me because I come from an HR recruiting background. So, but when I thought about it, it was more so transactional, from a transactional background. I got job requisitions for my clients. I hired people. I interviewed them. I screened them. I onboarded them and all this other stuff. And it wasn't anything that really stuck in my mind about the kind of people that I was hiring for my clients, because I just took the job recs that they gave me. Hey, I need X, Y, and Z. And I went and found them X, Y, and Z. I never stepped back. I've never looked at what this would mean, what the impact is of the type of hire it was. I only looked at it in terms of employee versus contractor. I never looked at it as far as revenue making, revenue generating employees, you know? So it took me a long time to understand that. Then once that kind of aha moment happened for me, it was like, okay, I know what I have to do now. I know who I have to hire. And that's what I started doing. Guess what? Not only did it increase business for my company, it also allowed me to step back and be able to take on more clients because I wasn't doing it all myself. I had a team that could work with my clients, and I was doing the workload that I wasn't previously doing. I was capping myself out because I wasn't hiring people that could produce revenue, you know? So, and I'm not going to get into who was hired first and all that. That's irrelevant now. But back to the Inc. 500 story, you know, the thought that my decisions and the things that I choose to do within my businesses, within my companies, that used to freak me out at night. It used to keep me up because it's like, if I make one wrong move, you know how many people are not going to eat? You know how many people can't pay their rent if I can't do this? And yeah, I'm putting out worst case scenarios because you have to think about those things in order to spark you or move you or encourage you to making the right decision. You know, when it's just us, we could be haphazard. We could be lax with what we do and take our time and make decisions because it's only us that's being affected. But when you start hiring people, that's a whole other ballgame. And a lot of you are uncomfortable with that thought that you don't want to hire because you don't want that responsibility. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. First thing, stop. Stop thinking like that because that is not the case. You don't have to think like that, okay? I know that sometimes we will compare ourselves to bigger businesses and say, oh, we can afford to not do because we can do it different. Stop the comparisons, stop the worry, stop all of that. You need to sit down and be strategic. Number one, do your staffing plan. We can help with that. Hello, just give me a call and we can do that. Do your staffing plan. Number two, figure out who will generate money for your business. And those are the people you hire first. Then you worry about your support team. You know, number three, don't look at it in terms of I'm responsible for their families, because here's the thing, and this may sound cold-hearted and cruel. What's in other people's pockets is none of your business. You have to understand that. When you were in corporate, did your job care if you had bills to be paid? Did they care if you had to pay your mortgage or your rent? Did they care about your children? No. They didn't, because if you messed up and you were out, they replaced you. Now, I'm not advocating being an insensitive asshole. I would never say that. But business is business. Yes, there are some elements of personal to it, but as the CEO, as the owner, you can only go but so far with a personalized relationship. Yes, we all want our businesses, the smaller companies, to have that family atmosphere and all that. But at the end of the day, they are there to do a job. They are there to fulfill their requirements, to give you what the work is that you need them to do to service your clients. So that's why you need to be focusing on revenue generating employees first before you start making all these other hires. How do you do that? I'm not going to tell you that in this Facebook Live. You're going to have to come and work with me to get that done. But that should give you a little bit of incentive to want to hire, because I know a lot of people think about it in terms of cost. It's like, oh, it's going to cost me this. I got to pay them this much hour. They got to do this. But if you start thinking about, okay, if I hire this person, right, and they're bringing in X revenue per quarter, per month, or however it is, they'll automatically pay for themselves. You see how that works? Not everybody, of course, but I mean, it'll offset some of that cost. And you shouldn't be hiring until you have a budget anyway. You need to be able to sit down and have a budget and understand what you can afford to hire, because it might be a situation where you could hire someone, but only part-time in the meantime. And then also, remember, I talked to you guys about the different compensation models. There's base plus commission, base plus uncapped commission, base plus cap commission, and commission based, and there's equity. There's all kind of creative ways that you can pay your employees. But the key is to bring in employees first that make money. I refuse to be part of that 33%. And no, I'm not in Inc. 500 this year. I'm not in Inc. 500, but we're going to come. We're coming for you. We're coming for you, Inc. But anyway, start thinking more strategically. Stop thinking from a place of fear and doubt, and start having more confidence in your abilities, your skills, and your business. Because if your business is hot right now, then you need to be focused on that. Not, well, if I do this, it'll mess this up. Or if I hire this person, I won't be able to afford. No, stop thinking like that. We put ourselves in situations where we do so much damage to ourselves, to our psyche, because there's so much self-doubt. There's so much hesitation, and we undermine what it is that we originally got into business for, and I've been at this a long time. You guys know my story. You know how long I've been in business. So it's hard for me to sit back and go back to the way I used to be and look at other people be in that position and not say something. That's why I decided to do the live today, because that, 33%, I'm like, if that's just the Inc. 500, could you imagine the rest of the world? Who's afraid of hiring because they don't want to be responsible for their employees' livelihood? That's irrational thinking, guys. And trust me, some of you are going to disagree with me. And I know some of you are going to come in the comments and, oh, well, you ain't small and you can't say, you can't listen. I've been at this a long time. I've worked with many clients. Okay. When you hire right the first time, you minimize the risks. You don't eliminate them altogether, because you never know what's going to happen, but you minimize the risks. So what are we going to do? Staffing plan. And we're going to hire our revenue generating employees first, because at least that way they're paid for themselves. Because an administrative assistant, yeah, they save you time and do all your back end stuff or whatever, but are they going to get you to 8 figures and 9 figures? And not alone, at least, no. But that's up for debate for another time. I don't want to talk about that right now. So anyway, again, I'm shooting for Inc. 500 next year, you guys. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. But I want you guys to really stop and think about it, and think about what I said, and discuss it, figure out, sit back and have a long talk with yourself and figure out what it is that's making you afraid. What's keeping you from hiring? And then whatever that is, let's work on that. So if you have any questions, you can send an email to info@mogulchix, and it's Chix with an X.com. That's MOGULCHIX.com. Or drop me a comment below or shoot me a DM. I do not do free discovery calls. We do staffing plans. They start at $17,000. That's a full comprehensive staffing plan with ongoing support. And we also do VIP Master Talent Days. It's a 2-day thing where we work with you and your team or your person or partner or whoever. And it's 2 days of intense work. We do all of your planning, your strategies. We do your roadmap, everything for hire, all your documentation, and get you up to par so that you can hire and make good hiring decisions. And we get your automation together and all that other stuff. That is $25,000 for 2 days. And if you want us to come in and do it for you and work it and have your outsourced arm of that, we also do that as well. And you can either post jobs with us starting at $475 per job posting, or you can do single 3-pack or 5-pack of job postings where you get access to all of our job boards and everything. Or you can have us manage the process. We do managed sourcing services. That is $4,500 a month. And we do all of your screening and everything and send you only the best qualified candidates. And we send you, leads for candidates, and we use our proprietary methods. Or we do your whole full life cycle where we do everything from soup to nuts, from starting with the job description all the way to onboarding your new hires and background checks. So that is $10,500. So anyway, if you are ready to make some mogul moves, if you are ready to start hiring, you need to let us know. Reach out to me and let's see what we can do for your company. So again, I'm Adrienne Graham, CEO and founder of Mogul Chix and Graham Talent Group. And I'll catch you on the flip side. And I hope this has been motivational, and I hope it's been something to help you alleviate those fears. So catch you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.